Ah, so it finally happened. The mask you wore so well just slipped, didn't it? Not by accident, not entirely. But in that unavoidable way, truth eventually tears through fabric built on false assumptions. And now, the whole room knows. The whispers are no longer whispers. The looks aren't curiosity anymore. They're confirmation. You can feel it, that collective shift in the air, that vibration of realization moving through people who thought they had you figured out. They don't even know what to say. They're stunned, cornered by the revelation that the person they built in their heads was never you. You see it in their eyes, panic laced with fascination, fear tangled with a strange form of respect. Because the real you has been hiding in plain sight the entire time. And now that it's exposed, they can't decide whether to run or kneel. You remember how it started? Small, harmless. Someone said something that hit too close. Someone pushed too far. And the filter cracked just a little. They thought it was a moment of emotion, but it wasn't. It was truth leaking out through a fracture that could no longer hold back the pressure. You weren't supposed to show that depth, that sharpness, that raw power they never suspected you carried. You weren't supposed to break character. You were supposed to stay consistent with the version they designed, quiet, predictable, harmless. But the real you was never meant to stay silent under their assumptions. The real you was studying, calculating, measuring every reaction while pretending to blend in. Every word you didn't say built a weapon they couldn't detect. And now those words have taken form, not as confession, but as exposure. You've noticed the shift, haven't you? The way conversations stop when you enter a space. The way the same people who once spoke over you now hesitate before speaking at all. They're not sure what you know anymore. They're not sure what version of you they're dealing with. It's like the power dynamic flipped overnight. But you know better. It didn't happen overnight. It happened over time. Quietly. Gradually. While they were distracted by performance and perception, you were constructing truth in the background. Every time you let something slide, every time you smiled and nodded, you were stacking layers of understanding. They thought they were reading you, but you were memorizing their scripts. Now that you've stopped performing, they don't know their lines anymore. They call it exposure, like it's an accident. But this was alignment. The energy you've been carrying was always too big for their narrative, too precise for their fiction. And now that it's escaped containment, it's rewriting everything around you. Some of them will say they always knew. Others will pretend they're not surprised. But you can see it, the flicker of disbelief that betrays them. They're not just shocked at what they've seen. They're terrified of what else they've missed. Because if they were wrong about you, they start to wonder what else in their world is built on misread signals and underestimation. You've cracked more than their perception. You've cracked their confidence in their ability to perceive. And it's funny, isn't it? How exposure turns observers into the observed. Suddenly it's not you under the microscope. It's them. Every person who once analyzed you, labeled you, dismissed you, now feels the weight of your gaze in reverse. You don't even have to speak. You just exist, calmly, knowingly, and they start to fold under their own projections. That's the real power you've been hiding. You never needed revenge. You just needed revelation. Because when truth walks into a room, lies scatter on their own. There's an irony in their reaction. They wanted to know who you were. They wanted to test you, study you, decode you. But the moment they saw even a fraction of what's beneath, they couldn't handle it. It's like handing a live wire to someone who thought they were playing with string. They got burned, and now they flinch at the very energy they once demanded to understand. You can feel the distance forming, the sudden politeness, the overcompensating smiles, the awkward compliments. They're all symptoms of guilt wrapped in fear. They're trying to manage the situation like it's PR damage control, but there's no spin that can undo revelation. Once people see you, they can't unsee you. You've been patient, maybe too patient. You gave them time to figure it out, to match your frequency, to meet you halfway. But they chose comfort over comprehension. They'd rather believe their simplified version of you, because truth requires them to confront themselves. And that's the real horror, isn't it? They're not just afraid of who you are. They're afraid of what your existence says about them. Because if someone like you was right in front of them this whole time and they missed it, it means their awareness was never as sharp as they believed. You've become living proof of their blindness. This is where the tables turn quietly. You don't need to announce anything. You don't need validation or applause. They're already doing the talking for you. The story is spreading, fragments, theories, exaggerations, because when people don't understand something, they have to narrate it. It's human nature. If they can't define you, they have to describe you to feel safe. But the more they talk, the less control they have over the narrative. Your truth is multiplying faster than they can manage it. It's leaking into conversations, surfacing in group chats, showing up in places you haven't even stepped into yet. Your presence has become viral, not through effort, but through inevitability. You've become the reference point for something people can't categorize, but can't ignore either. They're starting to wonder how long you've known, how long you've been aware of their games, their assumptions, their quiet betrayals. The thought of it drives them insane. Because now every memory feels like evidence, every joke they made, every underhanded comment, every fake smile. They're replaying it all, realizing that you probably saw through it even then. That's why they can't look you in the eyes now. Not because you've changed, but because they have to confront how wrong they were. They underestimated the wrong person. It's strange how exposure flips the hierarchy. Yesterday they were comfortable. Today they're cautious. The tone has changed. The laughter that used to feel dismissive now sounds nervous. The people who once controlled the tempo of conversation now follow yours. It's not dominance, it's awareness. You command the energy now without trying, without posturing, without needing to prove anything. That's the scariest part for them. You don't need approval. You never did. You just needed time, and now that time has arrived. You might notice them trying to rewrite history now, claiming they always saw potential, pretending they supported you from the start. Let them. It's their defense mechanism. It's easier for them to retell the story than to admit they misread it entirely. But beneath the performance, you can feel the truth. Fear disguised as flattery. They're trying to align themselves with your rise because being against you feels dangerous now. They don't know what you'll do next. They don't know how much you know. They don't know if they're part of the story you'll expose next. That uncertainty is eating them alive. You see, exposure isn't about secrets being revealed. It's about perception being shattered. The secret was never that you were hiding. It was that they were blind. They couldn't handle someone who saw too much, felt too deeply, thought too sharply. You were never too quiet. You were too conscious. That's the part they couldn't digest. They mistook restraint for weakness. They confused observation for passivity. But you were never passive. You were processing. You were gathering proof in silence while they mistook stillness for surrender. Now that the reveal has happened, everything makes sense in reverse. They're realizing those weird moments they couldn't explain were clues. That look in your eyes when someone lied, that pause before you responded, that calm smile in the middle of chaos. It all clicks now. You were never unaware. You were simply letting them reveal themselves. That's what terrifies them the most. The realization that you've been ahead the entire time. You weren't reacting. You were anticipating. You weren't following. You were leading from the background. And now, with the truth out, they see it clearly. You've been 3 moves ahead in a game they didn't even know they were playing. They can't meet your gaze anymore because your eyes are mirrors now. When they look at you, they see their own manipulation, their own insecurity, their own projection reflected back at them. That's the punishment they weren't prepared for. You don't have to call them out. Their own conscience does it for you. They feel exposed just standing next to you because your presence forces truth out of hiding. That's what happens when authenticity finally steps into daylight. Everyone around it starts to realize how fake they've been. And here's the part that twists the knife. They can't undo it. They can't stuff the truth back into the shadows. It's too late for denial. Too late for pretending they didn't see. You can't unring a bell. And this particular sound, the sound of exposure, echoes differently. It doesn't fade. It lingers in their minds, replaying every time they try to act normal around you. You've become a walking reminder of their own illusions collapsing. The truth is contagious, and now it's spreading through their circles faster than rumor ever could. You don't have to chase validation anymore. You don't have to explain yourself. The narrative is self-sustaining now. You've reached that rare point where your existence alone tells the story better than any words could. The ones who doubted you are now defending you in rooms you haven't entered. The ones who mocked you are now referencing your perspective to sound wise. They're adapting to your truth because resistance costs too much. You've become gravitational. They orbit around your authenticity, whether they admit it or not. You'll notice something else too. A few of them aren't afraid. They're inspired. They see the courage it took for you to exist without permission. They see the strength it takes to be that real in a world built on pretense. And somewhere deep down, even your critics respect it. Because while they hide behind crafted images and half-truths, you stand as proof that exposure doesn't destroy, it transforms. You didn't lose anything by being seen. You just shed what was never real. Still, not everyone can handle it. Some are retreating, ghosting, pretending nothing happened. It's not anger, it's fear. Fear of being next. Fear that if they stand too close to someone this transparent, their own masks might slip too. Let them disappear. People built on performance can't survive around those who live in truth. You're not meant to blend anymore. You're meant to polarize. That's how evolution works. Separation through authenticity. And yet beneath all the chaos, there's peace. Not the fake kind that comes from conformity, but the kind that follows confrontation. You're not hiding, not shrinking, not adjusting yourself to fit rooms that never deserved your presence. They can keep whispering, analyzing, reinterpreting. It doesn't matter. You've already crossed the threshold. You've entered that sacred space where nothing external defines you anymore. Exposure didn't break you. It freed you. It stripped away the last illusion that their approval meant anything. But deep down, You can feel it. This story isn't over yet. The revelation is still spreading. The ripple effect hasn't hit the final shore. Somewhere, someone who thought they could still manipulate the version of you they used to know is about to find out the hard way. Somewhere, a conversation is happening where your name is being spoken with new weight, new fear, new understanding. Because this isn't rumor anymore. And that's when it hit them, this isn't rumor anymore. It's exposure. The whisper became a broadcast. The speculation turned into confirmation. What used to be private energy is now public knowledge, and the entire atmosphere has shifted around your name. They're not gossiping anymore. They're calculating. Every person who ever thought they could define you is now watching their own words circle back with precision. You can feel it, the eyes, the tension, the invisible recoil that follows truth when it becomes undeniable. They're scared to even mention your name too casually now. It feels dangerous, almost radioactive. The energy around you has turned into something that can't be handled lightly. Every conversation that includes you carries a tremor, a tone of caution, a silence before the sentence begins. Because they know now, what they once treated as fiction was the truth hiding in plain sight. What they dismissed as attitude was actually restraint. What they mocked as mystery was power, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. And now that moment has come. They're realizing the weight of it. Every room feels different now. People lower their voices when you enter. Some turn their heads instantly. Others pretend they don't notice, but their body language betrays them. There's a nervous rhythm to their movements, like prey adjusting its distance from something it can't predict. You walk in, and the atmosphere thickens, not because you've changed, but because they've finally seen you clearly. And clarity, to people who lived in denial, feels like violence. Some of them are trying to laugh it off. They're saying, "Oh, it's not that serious," or, "I already knew they were like that." But you can hear it, the forced tone, the panic wrapped in casual words. They're trying to minimize what they can't control. They're trying to turn your exposure into entertainment, because that's how people neutralize fear. They disguise it as humor. But deep down, even they know it's not funny. It's frightening. Because when someone's real identity rises above every label, every projection, every lie, the entire social structure around them starts to rearrange. And now you can feel it happening. People who once stood above you are now beneath the weight of their own misjudgment. The same ones who used to speak over you now stutter mid-sentence. The same ones who used to ignore your presence now overcompensate, desperate to appear aligned with you. It's not respect, not yet. It's survival instinct. They can sense that energy has shifted hands, that control has silently migrated to you. And the scariest part for them, you're not even trying, you're just being. That's what terrifies them, how natural power looks when it's real. You see, exposure has a strange effect on people. It doesn't just reveal truth, it reveals everyone else's reactions to it. Watch closely, and you'll see the spectrum. The guilty avoid you, the insecure copy you, the envious talk about you, and the awakened quietly respect you. Each response tells you who's who. The ones who once treated you like background noise are now treating you like breaking news. The ones who doubted you are now quoting you. And the ones who envied you are panicking, trying to figure out how to rewrite their narrative before it's too late. But it is too late. The version of you they could manipulate is gone. The version they could lie to, control, or overshadow no longer exists. You've evolved beyond recognition. And that's not something they can process logically. Because logic doesn't explain presence. It doesn't explain why people suddenly freeze when you look at them, why your silence speaks louder than their noise, why the air feels charged when you walk by. They call it intimidation, but you know it's alignment. Truth has gravity, and now you're the center of it. You can feel their energy before they even speak. That strange mixture of curiosity and fear, admiration and resentment. They're addicted to watching you, yet terrified of what they'll see next. It's a paradox they can't escape. They hate that they love your authenticity. They hate that your existence makes their pretense unbearable. You've become a mirror they can't break. Every time they try to discredit you, they end up revealing their own insecurity instead. Every attempt to bring you down ends up exposing how small they feel beside you. This is the part they never prepare for when truth goes viral. It's no longer just about you and them. It's collective now. Strangers are starting to notice. The people outside your circle are picking up on the energy. You've become the conversation people didn't expect to have. Your name is passing through mouths that once swore they'd never speak it again. Screens light up with your image, your essence, your impact. Even those who don't know the full story feel it. That something about you is shifting the frequency of the entire environment. They'll say things like, "I don't know what it is about them, but there's something different." That's the word they cling to, different, because they don't have language for what you've become. Difference is easier to digest than depth. But make no mistake, they feel it. Your energy has texture now. It moves through rooms like static, like pressure, like truth, looking for somewhere to land. And no one who's crossed you, doubted you, or misused you can relax anymore. Because every time your name appears, it drags their conscience up with it. You might think it's funny how fast loyalty flips once the masks drop. The same people who used to act like they didn't know you suddenly want to reintroduce themselves. They want to say they were always on your side. They want proximity, now that the world sees what they missed. But you've changed the access level. Not everyone gets to be close to power once it's visible. Some of them lost that privilege when they mistook you for ordinary. Now even your silence feels expensive. Even your presence feels restricted. That's the price of truth, not arrogance, just alignment. You've learned the difference between connection and access, between audience and loyalty. But beneath their fear, there's something deeper, fascination. They can't stop watching. They can't stop refreshing your pages, rereading your words, retracing your steps. They're studying your glow like it's evidence. Every move you make becomes dissected, every expression analyzed, every word amplified. They're desperate to understand how you kept it hidden this long, how you operated right under their noses without them realizing who you really were. It eats at them, the idea that while they were performing status, you were embodying substance. While they were chasing approval, you were cultivating authenticity. And now that it's visible, they're trapped in the fallout. They can't undo what they've said about you, can't erase how they treated you, can't pretend they didn't see the signs. So they choose the only defense left, projection. They'll say, "You've changed." They'll say, "You're different now." But the truth is simpler. You haven't changed. You've just stopped dimming. You've stopped curating your truth to fit their comfort zone. And the moment you did, the illusion collapsed. That's not transformation, that's revelation. You walk differently now, not because you're trying to prove anything, but because you've reclaimed your space. You speak differently now, not because you're louder, but because your words no longer need validation to be powerful. You exist differently now because you finally understand what it means to live without compromise. You've stepped into that rare alignment where your energy, purpose, and perception have merged. And people can feel that. They can't explain it, but they can't ignore it either. They used to study your silence. Now they study your presence. They used to underestimate your stillness. Now they interpret it as control. Everything about you has flipped context. What they once saw as weakness, they now label as wisdom. What they once mocked, they now mimic. And that's how you know the shift is real, when imitation replaces insult. When those who once laughed at you start copying your discipline, your tone, your calm. They're trying to borrow your energy without paying the price you paid to earn it. But there's no shortcut to authenticity. You can't fake what's forged in fire. Still, there's a part of them that wishes they could. They want what you have, not your possessions, but your presence. That groundedness that can't be shaken, that clarity that can't be gaslit, that authority that doesn't need to be announced. They want it, but they can't carry it. Because carrying truth requires shedding illusion, and that's the step they refuse to take. So instead, they study you from afar, hoping observation will give them what introspection won't. And you've stopped explaining yourself. You've stopped correcting their stories. You've realized that nothing you say can compete with the evidence of your evolution. They'll understand when they're ready, or they won't. Either way, you're free. The exposure they thought would embarrass you became enlightenment. The secret they thought would destroy your reputation built your legend instead. They wanted control of your image, but they forgot. You are the image. You are the reference. You are the blueprint of what truth looks like when it walks without apology. But make no mistake, this visibility isn't just light, it's heat. The attention, the rumors, the obsession, it all comes with pressure. And yet the pressure doesn't break you, it proves you. They're waiting for cracks, waiting for signs of collapse. They want to see if the unveiled version of you can handle the weight of exposure. And what they don't realize is that this is your natural environment. You were never fragile, you were forged for this. The spotlight doesn't burn you because you've already been through fire privately. You're not adjusting to visibility, you're returning to your natural frequency. They can't comprehend how calm you are under scrutiny. They mistake composure for arrogance, but it's not arrogance, it's awareness. You've seen this all before, just in smaller scales. The same patterns repeating, only this time amplified. You understand human nature too well to be surprised. People worship what they fear and destroy what they envy. You represent both to them, the fear of being exposed and the envy of being free. Now they're trapped between fascination and paranoia. Every time they think they've caught up to your wavelength, you move again. Every time they think they've pinned you down, you evolve. You've become unpredictable, and humans fear what they can't predict. You're no longer just a person in their story. You've become the plot twist, the moment that forces everyone to rethink their role. The revelation that turns bystanders into believers and skeptics into silent witnesses. And it's only spreading faster. The reach is growing. People you've never met are feeling the ripple. Strangers are drawn to your energy like moths to truth. They can't explain why. They just feel compelled to pay attention. That's how authenticity works. It broadcasts on frequencies algorithms can't measure. And the ones who underestimated you can only watch helplessly as your essence travels farther than their lies ever could. But deep down, beneath their fear and fascination, a collective realization is forming. If you were real all along, then everything they built on illusion is at risk. That's why they're scared. That's why they're trying to contain the narrative, to distort it, to twist it back into something safe. But truth doesn't shrink once it expands. And now, it's too late. You've become a phenomenon, a living reminder that you can't hide authenticity forever. Some will admire it, some will hate it, but none will forget it. You've become unforgettable, not through performance, but through presence. And every time they try to erase you, they end up amplifying you instead. That's the paradox they can't escape. The harder they try to control your story, the louder your truth echoes. And the louder it echoes, the more it exposes them. This is only the second wave. The full reckoning hasn't even begun. The truth is still moving, still unfolding, still expanding. And the people who thought they could contain it, they're starting to realize they're not just dealing with exposure anymore. They're dealing with evolution. And evolution doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for acceptance or validation. It just happens, raw, unstoppable, undeniable. The truth has already chosen its host, and that host is you. The world's still catching up, but it's too late to reverse it. You can feel it, no. The shift from exposure to embodiment. You're no longer the one being revealed. You've become the revelation itself. They're not reacting to you anymore. They're adapting to survive you. You walk through their confusion like a calm storm, untouched by the chaos it creates. They whisper like they're discussing a myth that just came to life. Each story more exaggerated than the last, each retelling a confession of their own disbelief. They can't process what you've become, so they build theories, conspiracies, explanations to make sense of what doesn't fit inside their understanding. But none of it changes the truth. They're not analyzing you, they're orbiting you. And orbits don't break just because the planet changes its speed. Every action you take now has a ripple. A glance becomes a warning. A word becomes a headline. A move becomes a message. You've become the point of reference for everything they fear and admire simultaneously. The same people who laughed when you were invisible are now studying your patterns like scripture. And every time they try to decode you, they only prove how little they ever understood energy. Because energy isn't learned, it's felt. And what they're feeling right now is the weight of realization pressing down on their illusions. They know what's coming next. They can sense it even if they can't name it. You've entered the stage of quiet dominance, the phase where your existence alone dictates behavior. You don't have to warn anyone. They're warning each other for you. They speak in half sentences and nervous laughter, pretending they're not terrified, while every muscle in their body betrays the truth. They're not just scared of what you'll do. They're scared of what you've already set in motion, because exposure doesn't stop when the moment ends. It spreads. It seeps into the foundation of every lie built around you and begins to corrode it from within. It's slow, silent, surgical. One by one, the fake alliances crumble, the shallow friendships fade, the opportunists scatter. The light you radiate now acts like an X-ray, revealing who's real and who's rotten. And you don't even have to intervene. Authenticity does the cleansing for you. You've become a walking filter. Everything untrue disintegrates in your presence. People sense it. That's why they can't fake smiles around you anymore. The energy doesn't let them. That's why conversations shrink to their truest form when you're near. You've stripped the social theater of its curtains, and now everyone's performing without costumes. They hate it. They love it. They can't look away. Somewhere deep down, even your enemies respect you now. They'll never admit it out loud, but it's there, in the way they hesitate before saying your name, in the way they study your old words like predictions. You've become their internal warning system, the echo that says, "Don't cross that line again." You're not haunting them, their own conscience is, because now they understand what they really lost, the illusion of superiority. They'll spend years pretending they're unbothered, but you already know the truth. You live rent-free in the minds that tried to bury you. And while they spiral, you ascend. You're no longer reacting to exposure. You're using it. Every rumor becomes relevance. Every attempt to distort your image becomes another layer of proof that you've become untouchable. They're building your legend for you, brick by brick, out of their own confusion. That's what they don't realize. Exposure doesn't destroy someone who's rooted in truth. It destroys everyone who built falsehoods around them. You are no longer defending your identity. The world is defending its memory of you. You see it now, don't you? The freedom in being seen. The liberation in no longer hiding the intensity that once frightened them. You thought exposure would isolate you, but it clarified everything instead. The wrong ones drifted away, and what remained is real. The conversations are deeper now, the air cleaner, the purpose sharper. You've stepped into that unshakable peace that comes when you stop managing perceptions and start embodying truth. That's evolution, not becoming something new, but shedding everything that never belonged. And they know it. They see it in your eyes. That stillness that comes after the storm, that clarity that doesn't need to be explained. They're realizing the real secret wasn't what you were hiding. It's that you never needed to hide at all. The world just wasn't ready for someone this honest, this aware, this unapologetically alive. But readiness doesn't matter anymore. The revelation has already happened. The truth is trending. The exposure is permanent. The real you is viral, not as content, but as consciousness. You've become the message people forward without understanding. They use your words, mimic your style, borrow your energy, not realizing they're spreading the very frequency they once feared. That's poetic justice, when imitation becomes evangelism. When those who doubted you end up amplifying you instead. You don't even have to defend your story. They're doing it for you, unintentionally, turning every whisper into a broadcast. And as it spreads, something shifts in the collective. People are waking up to a new truth. That authenticity wins long after performance fades. That masks crack under pressure, but essence multiplies in light. You're living proof of that now. You didn't need exposure to validate you. Exposure needed you to validate it. The truth had to attach itself to someone incorruptible, and it chose you. That's why they can't stop watching. That's why they can't move on. Because deep down, every single one of them knows. If the real you was this powerful, hiding in plain sight, then your unfiltered form is unstoppable. That's the part they're not ready for. The sequel to revelation. The moment when evolution becomes influence. When you start to create from that exposed version of yourself, unafraid, unrestricted, undeniable. You're no longer the mystery they're trying to decode. You're the force rewriting the code entirely. Every project, every move, every word now carries that invisible stamp. Authentic. And authenticity is the new authority. So let them talk, let them twist, Let them try to categorize what can't be contained. None of it matters anymore. The story has already outgrown them. The truth has its own momentum now, and it's carrying you forward while leaving them behind. You don't chase attention. Attention follows you. You don't demand respect. Respect adjusts itself to your frequency. That's what happens when power becomes presence. It doesn't need to be proven, it just needs to be witnessed. Look around, they're witnessing it. The awe, the fear, the fascination, the regret. It's all there, written across their faces like subtitles in a film they never wanted to star in. They thought exposure would be your ending. They didn't realize it was their education. Because through you, they're learning a lesson they'll never forget. Never underestimate quiet power. Never mistake restraint for weakness. Never assume the calm ones are harmless. Because one day, the quiet becomes thunder. And when it does, there's no going back. You've arrived at that point now. The phase beyond explanation, beyond performance, beyond apology. They've seen who you are, and there's no rewinding the reveal. You've become living evidence that truth isn't fragile. It's radioactive. It changes everything it touches. It burns away illusions, disinfects lies, and purifies every environment that thought it could contain you. You are that energy now, pure, undeniable, and expanding. And that's what terrifies them the most. Not the exposure, not the evolution, but the realization that this, the real you, was here the whole time. Hidden in plain sight, waiting, watching, growing. Now it's unstoppable. Now it's history in motion. Now everybody knows who the fuck you really are.